मन मिथ्या कुसंग, शरण प्रभु की आ जा रे। पल पल जीवन जाए रे, कर ले प्रभु का भजन, शरण प्रभु की आ जा रे। तेरे अपने कर
सहनौ भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। We studied how the only way to attain happiness, which we defined as the cessation of agitations, is by becoming desireless. There's no other way to do it. Now, or to the extent you don't have a desire, you will be happy. Right? We've covered up to that. Then we got into a discussion of subtle and gross happiness. And we discussed the advantages and disadvantages of both. We discussed why subtle happiness is disadvantageous, because it needs education, it needs time. But what is its advantage? Is it's long lasting. Gross happiness, on the other hand, its advantages are it's quick, it's abundant, you can get it very, very fast, you can enjoy it very easily. It requires no effort or education, no background, no nothing. So that's the advantage. Disadvantage is easy come, easy go. Comes quickly, goes quickly. Right? Now you may wonder, okay, but what is all this got to do with what we were discussing, which is how do you find happiness? What is all this to do with desirelessness and all this? We said the only way to be happy is to be desireless, or to the extent you don't have a desire, you will be happy. Okay, so what's the connection? Here's the connection. The connection is the law that quality and quantity are inversely proportional. As quality increases, quantity decreases. This is the connection. Now we'll study about it further. Don't worry and say that, oh my God, I still don't understand what is the connection. So we will read it. Right? So where were we? The pyramid of life. So what is the pyramid? That what's the pyramid? What happened? Nobody did any revision this time. Just Jumme ke Jumme. Tisha, you know what's Jumme ke Jumme? No, Jumma
No,
is okay. Jumma is Friday. Friday they read, they go to the mosque and all that. So anything that you do only once a week, it becomes Jumme ke Jumme. Means Jumma is the day, it's Friday where they, in all the Middle East countries and all, they have, their holiday also is on Friday. So every Friday they have like some additional religious, I don't know what they do, but it's a Jumma day. Joyce, you know about Jumma?
Yes, of course. I live among Muslim people. So.
Yes, ma'am.
So that means only once a week this thing happens. So once a week we remember that this exists. Once a week. It doesn't quite work like that. So what is the pyramid of life? At the bottom are gross desire. Many and plentiful. And as it goes up, as the desires subtleize, they become lesser and lesser. The higher the quality of desires, the lesser their quantity. This is the pyramid of life. And you find this is generally true. Wherever quality increases, quantity decreases. Give me examples.
Good scholars are very few, whereas there are many degree holders, very few scholars.
Very good. Or you can say a few good scholars, many uneducated people. Right? As you go lower down the pyramid, go much more. Diamonds are few, coal are plentiful. What else? Tisha, you give us an example.
I was thinking of clothes and fashion, that the ones that last or tends to be less, while you have many of the other type that just...
Okay, or you can say people who are well dressed, who have aesthetics, are fewer than those who don't. Who couldn't care less and who have no taste. Let's say no taste. People who have good taste are much fewer than those who do not have good taste. Okay, Suparna. Suparna, are you new? Can you think of any example? Healthy food options are are few. Junk food are many. I would say healthy food. What is that word? I can never pronounce it. Aficionados. What is it? A few.
Aficionados.
Aficionados. Aficionados. I should really say that 20 times every day. Aficionados. There's some words I simply can't pronounce. Aficionados. Healthy food aficionados are few. Junk food are plentiful. Suparna, Can you give us an example? Okay. So generally in life, you will see this. Gunjan, you had an example?
Yeah, so like if we talk about Ch3.9 schools or Sri Aurobindo schools, they are very less. You can count them on your fingers. And other schools we can find like on every street.
Yes. Correct. Alagappan. People who have sleep and food are many. Those who have desires for Vedanta are few. Yes, you can say that. Joyce?
I have a question actually.
What's the question?
Is it, I mean, we cannot probably say that it's all black or white. There must be a gradation between the gross and the subtle and the more subtle.
Correct.
Is that so? Let's say we said that if we reach the subtle, then we cannot go back to the gross. But can we say that also this level of subtle that we have reached, the attribute of the subtle is that it's harder to let go of it, so it becomes more difficult to go to a more subtle state?
Yes. What happens is that when you grow, the happiness quotient increases till one day you feel this is good, I'm satisfied.
Yes.
Not recognizing that there is so much beyond.
Mm.
So therefore you say, I'm good, I'm happy, I'm all right. Why do you want me to do anything further? And then the problem is this kind of happiness lasts longer.
Yes.
In other conditions, you will feel happy, then that happiness will go away. So, you're motivated now to find something. Here, when you grow subtle and you start doing it, you are satisfied for a much longer period of time. So there's nothing to poke you into movement. So in the Upanishad, actually, they warn you against it.
Yes. So there is a risk there that of just being content or satisfied with a certain level of more subtle state, and then not wanting to go further or not realizing that we should go further, and so give up on what we have now in order to search for something even more subtle.
Yeah. And you can see this in real life. No, you may be knowing people who, according to you, are more developed than you, and then you go to them and you say, I found this fantastic subject, come and learn. They don't know why they should.
Yes.
So you say, then many students have actually asked this question. This person seems to be so developed. Why is he not interested in the subject?
Yes.
He's more disciplined than me. He is more clear than me. He is more whatever. I'm struggling in class trying to gain clarity and values. This person already has it. Then how come he's not interested in Vedanta?
Mm.
So you're seeing that, right? You're seeing that this person is satisfied now. Now he's stuck there for God knows how many janmas. Therefore, in Indian mythology, there's a very interesting concept of the time you spend in heaven. In heaven.
In heaven.
Yeah, so there's this, it's all very elaborate and full drama it is, because Indians love the full drama of it. So there are 7 heavens. In each heaven, you go for a little while, you enjoy something, you come down. And there are gradations in these heavens. How long you stay there, what you have to do to get there, and what is the quality and quantity of pleasure, both. So, so all is all defined. It's all just stories telling you how people go to higher and higher heavens, get better and better joy, stay there longer and longer. And then in the Gita, it says, Shine punye marta lokam vishanti. That means when their punya is over, when their good deeds are over, they come back to mortal earth. But it takes a long time. That's the problem. So, that's all in story form, of course, but philosophically, we understand that subtler pleasures give you more joy for a longer time. You know, we are so boring, right? I always feel Vedanta is so boring. In one line, we'll say, I don't know if you've ever gone to the lectures of the Puranas. They will tell you this long, long story. Like we finish one point, next point, finish a point, next point. Like whole lecture, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours on one point. So many stories, so many things. And then they'll sing songs in the middle and, you know, very, all fun and games. In the meanwhile, children are also crying, people are coming, going, they're eating, everything is going on. A very light atmosphere, like unlike us, you know, we are concentrated and can't do anything else, and you don't drink water also during class, you have to just pay attention. So much nakra we do. But the subtler the knowledge, the less its expression. So as you grossify, the explanation stuff.
Yes, it's clear. So how not to fall in this trap of just being stuck at some level and realizing
all the time remembering the final goal.
Yeah.
In the Gita, he's put it very well. He said that he who is Atma Trupta, who is satisfied in the self, revels in the self, is satisfied in the self, is content in the self, tasya karyam na vidyate. No, he doesn't need to do any work. So he gives you know how Gita is, no? You have to work, act, do action all the time. But he says, he who is content in the self, satisfied in the self, revels in the self, he doesn't have to do any work. So do you understand what that means? What can anyone say? What is that even? Why is he even saying that? What is it supposed to mean? Anybody in class wants to take a guess? Why does he say that?
He's reached his goal.
He's reached his goal, correct? No, why say that? Or yes, correct, you reached his goal, but in context, can you continue and say what is it to do with what we are talking now?
He's got the ultimate happiness.
Okay, so in our context, in the context of what Joyce just said.
No desire.
Okay, but in context, now what are we discussing over here? Joyce is asking the question. Does anybody remember what Joyce is asking? Please concentrate. What is Joyce's question?
Subtle and gross desire.
Radiation from subtle to gross.
No, she's now saying she got that. She got it that there is gradation, and then you will, you will sit there and you'll not ask more. So her question now was, anybody knows what's her question now?
How to not get stuck.
Prevent stagnation.
Very good. How to not get stuck. Now we've understood we are going to get stuck. How to not get stuck. So therefore came this verse. Now what is this verse got to do with how not to get stuck?
As long as you're not realized, you have to work.
Very good. Excellent, Vidushi. By remembering the goal constantly, by saying that, am I realized? If my answer is no, then come on, get back to work. Get back to effort. Then you say, effort will agitate me. Yes, it will, but do it anyway. Because only through that agitation, we unfold the unagitated state. Okay, so how do you do it in one line? The answer is remember the goal. Remember the goal has not been reached. Okay.
Thank you. Yes, very clear. Thank you, Janaki.
Janaki, the peak is the absolute. No? The peak of the pyramid can only be supreme.
That's correct. The peak is just the supreme, correct.
Yes.
So as the quality improves, quantity
Decreases.
Decreases.
Increases?
Decreases.
Quality improves, quantity reduces.
Yeah, what are you saying? Increase. Gunjan, correct. As the quality improves, for a quantity decreases. Diamond are few, charcoal is plentiful. Managing directors are few, labor is plentiful. Lions are few, wildebeest are plentiful. As you come to the top of the pyramid anywhere, the top is always very, very low in quantity. Okay, that's just the law of life. Now, when you go up the pyramid, the quality of your joy improves. This is where we came to last time, correct? Calm pleasures there abide, majestic gains. We finished this, right? Now let's continue. So far, so good, everybody, right? Dr. Durgesh, are you new to class? Dr. Durgesh? I don't know, somehow when people are new to class, they never speak to me. I think I must be looking like a very frightening Rakshasa of some kind. Okay, Mahesh, let's continue. Yes, Suparna. I spoke to you earlier. I'm glad you're new to class. I hope you're okay, Suparna. Is it all clear? If something's not clear, please stop me and ask. But don't ask something not related to class, okay? To the point that we are discussing. Suparna, clear? Besides being inherently peaceful, people who rise in the pyramid enjoy objects more. This is a point that we all have to sort of understand carefully. Not only is it that you are inherently happy as you rise up the pyramid, there's another problem that occurs. What is the second problem that occurs?
You start enjoying
Yeah,
more.
the objects become more enjoyable. Now, can you tell me why the objects become more enjoyable?
If you have the right contact.
Very good. You have the right contact. What else?
The mind is calm.
The mind is calm. Okay, good. What else?
You
Right
are not
contact,
clinging.
mind calm.
You are not clinging to that.
Yes, okay, that will come under right contact.
Desires are fewer.
Less desires. Yeah.
Desires are fewer, so he'll be internally peaceful. But why would he enjoy the objects more?
Because the quality of the object has improved.
Very excellent. So one is the quality of his mind is improved. So he's happy. But now the quality of the object is also improved. Why is the quality of the object improved?
Because now he's enjoying subtler objects.
He's enjoying subtler objects. Very good. Simple, right? So internally he's happier because his mind is calmer. Externally he's happy. I mean, whatever objects he gets to enjoy, he enjoys them. Because the object in itself has more capacity of peace, of happiness, and he knows how to deal with these objects too. So can you imagine what his state is? In every way, it's just getting better and better for him, which is a real pity. Why is it a real pity?
Because he'll forget the goal.
Because, yes, now he's going to forget the goal. When you are not so developed, your challenge is sorrow. When you are developed, your challenge is now joy. It's a very interesting thing, but it is true. Therefore, in the Gita, very, very interesting, it says the bondage of the sattvic Anybody remembers the bondage of the Sattvic is
Happiness.
Happen.
happiness. But we don't get it at all. We seem to miss it in all these various places. The bondage of the Sattvic is happiness. So you know that, right? They say, I don't want to come to class. Why not? Because I'm happy. You must be having some problem, so you go and study. That's the concept people have. It's quite a sad thing. So, besides being inherently peaceful, people who rise in the pyramid enjoy objects more. They not only enjoy subtler objects, but also have a childlike enjoyment of the simplest objects. They don't need, what should I say, complications to enjoy. I don't know how to express that. Do you understand this concept of you don't need complications to enjoy? When the mind is very agitated, the enjoyment that it seeks is a very complicated one. Because that complication is proportional to their agitation. Like, for instance, suppose you're listening to classical music, right? What are you listening to? What is going on with? There is a person sitting over there. He or she is singing. You are listening to the singing, maybe with your eyes closed also, and you say, oh, this is heaven. Now you go to a Justin Bieber concert. Now what is happening? Think about it. Firstly, you have to have like the singer to be a dancer. If the singer is not a dancer, you cannot hear the music. Then you need the people behind dancing as well. Not only that, they have to carry substances with them. They have to drink or something, then they will enjoy. Can you see how much is being added? You have to make it complex to enjoy. You just can't enjoy. Just enjoy it simply. So if you watch what is happening in the world, you will see how movies are. If you see very, very old movies, there's very little happening in the movie. I don't know if you noticed. Which movie? Let's say How Green Was My Valley. Joyce, you saw How Green Was My Valley? No? I'm trying to think of English movies so that in Hindi movies it's very clear. You know, right in very, very old Hindi movies, it's black and white. This man is standing and he is singing, oh my beloved, something he's singing. And his beloved is 9 out of 10 times not there. So he's just sitting and he's singing. He's just standing in one place and saying, oh, my beloved. And after some time, there's the beloved and him over a period of time. Then what are these people doing? They're running around some trees and all. For some reason, this became a big thing. All movies, they all ran around trees. The two of them running around trees. Today, what is happening? It is not enough that these two are on screen. Every time there's a love song, there are 40 people behind them. Not only are there 40 people behind them, it's not in one garden they're singing. In one song, they have 50 locations. Then the mind feels calm. I say, nice, I feel, my agitations have come down. So when you become subtler in life, you need just lesser complication. I don't know how to explain that. Simple things mean something to you. It doesn't have to be very complicated. First, people would go to the temple, church, or mosque and get married. Nowadays, getting married is a three act play. for all my one of my staff members, the boy who used to do a jhadu pocha here, who used to do he cleaned the floors. Now he's gone to his village to get married, and his brother-in-law also works here. So he's showing me all the pictures. Pictures not of the wedding. He's not yet married. Just pictures of him with his prospective bride. These are called pre-wedding photographs. Then there are wedding photographs. Then there will be post-wedding. I don't know what all goes on. So it complicates more and more and more. You can't enjoy it unless it's complicated, basically. Yes, Bharat? Bharat,
So
I have a question when the marriage comes up. I don't
yeah, somehow bad coincidence.
know.
So the probability of meeting those less complex things also rises, right? Because you can enjoy simpler pleasures like watching a sunset or something.
Yes. Because your mind is available now. So you can just get a butta on the road and eat it and enjoy it. But others may not notice it because their mind is going crazy. Not that I am recommending that. I'm not recommending. They're just facts of life. So that is why you'll find most developed people can enjoy things easily. They do. Yes, Joyce?
I just have an example that I think, if I understood correctly, might illustrate what you're saying. For example, perhaps you would be able to, if you go to the beach, let's say, just to simply enjoy walking in the sand or having a swim in the water, whereas another person might want music and food and company and, not really enjoying the nature itself. Does this example illustrate a little bit what you're saying?
It's not about the people, but what do you want these people to be doing also? They wear like
Yes.
loud clothes, loud,
Having a
it's
barbecue
complicated.
yes, rather than just simply enjoying being there and enjoying the sand, the water.
Yeah, but be
the nature.
careful in this, because suppose they're simply just having a barbecue, I mean, whatever they're doing, they're just doing that and enjoying it.
Yes.
Instead of like, I don't know, complicating this whole thing and then having a fight while they're there. And, it's
Yes.
very complex. The whole situation, somehow these people manage to make it very complex and people just watch aghast what to do.
Yes.
It's very complicated. Every step of this is complicated. That did you give me did you give me the right thing in the right way for the right reason without whatever, with the right people? So, like, how many complications will you put into this thing?
Yeah.
Simple thing will become very complicated. So that's why you find most spiritual people, they enjoy simple pleasures. They're capable of it. Deep Raj. This also explains Rajasic and Sattvic food. Rajasic food has to have all the mirch masala, and Sattvic food is simple and tasty. Yes, correct. Good example. Good. So you're getting the idea of how it can get complicated. And they don't enjoy it unless it is complicated. So they not only enjoy subtler objects, but also have a childlike enjoyment of the simplest object. The common person's pleasures are tinged with agitation. Many things worry us during an enjoyable experience. We cannot enjoy a slice of cake without thinking of a million things. Guilt is one of them. Distraction and indiscipline are yet others. If you just eat a piece of cake, no, you have to eat a piece of cake and talk at the same time and then watch television at the same time. So you've eaten 7 pieces of cake and not enjoyed even one. Hence, the mind is not fully available to enjoy the object. That's why we need so much cake. We cannot enjoy each piece. When the mind is calm, it is fully available to enjoy the objects and gain maximum joy. A wise person's discrimination guides him on the necessary boundaries of contact. Okay, so your intellect, your mind is calm and your intellect is working, so you know the boundaries of contact. Thus, he doesn't suffer because of his enjoyments, unlike others who tend to use their money, relationships, etc., to destroy themselves. So, whatever pleasures he has, those pleasures don't come back and spoil his life. The way we deal with pleasures is that whatever we enjoy somehow becomes negative for us. It spoils our life. So when we don't understand these boundaries of contact, or he understands the boundaries of contact and doesn't suffer because of his enjoyments. Remember, we studied how there's suffering as a consequence of our enjoyment. Now you've eaten so much cake, you put on so much weight. Now you put on so much weight, now you have to force to not eat cake. And then, oh, I'm not allowed to eat cake. Things like that. For instance, the common saying, people dig their graves with their teeth. And finally, when the evolved person loses anything, he is not devastated by the loss, since he is not dependent upon it. Others may be broken by the tragedies they encounter. Anything you enjoy, if it is snatched away from you, please remember, anything can be snatched away from you at any time. A developed person, a subtle person, he will not collapse because of it. Thus, an evolved person enjoys greater happiness. It is derived out of, this is only a summary. First one is general happiness. He is generally happy because his desires are fewer. 2, subtler object. The quality of the object is also superior. 3, the mind is available. Since his mind is calmer, it can completely focus on the object, focus on and enjoy the object. The intellect is available. Because he is not carried away by desires, his contact is regulated. He doesn't suffer the ill effects of enjoyments as described in chapter 1. And the 5th one is loss tolerance. When an object is lost, he does not crumble as he is not dependent upon it.
Janki ji, one question. If we
One second, Bharat, 1 second. I'll just do Gunjan. Can we correlate these complexities with indulgence? Can we correlate these complexities with indulgence? Yes, we can, Gunjan, but we don't need to. They can be two separate things as well. Even if you're not indulging. Okay. Indulgence as defined in Vedanta is?
mind-led.
Yeah, finished? Say the full definition.
Repeated thought of an object.
An enjoyment that is not governed by the intellect is known as an enjoyment. So, mind-led enjoyment. Correct, Prashant. Intellect is not available, right? So that's what. So we don't define indulgence by what you are indulging or how much you are indulging. I mean, contacting or enjoying. A contact that is not determined by the intellect, is not governed by the intellect, is known as enjoyment. Is known as indulgence. So the quantum is not defined by us. Okay. What is the object is not within the scope of this definition. So you could, technically speaking, have a very complex enjoyment because you're a grosser person. You wanted a complex enjoyment, you got it. and your intellect is also functioning. This is a possibility. So it will not come under indulgence. But usually, in all probability, there will be some correlation. Probability. But it's not a, it's possible that it is without it as well. Okay. Yes, Bharat.
So if the intellect is available, wouldn't it automatically mean that the mind is available?
If the intellect is available, automatically the mind is available. If the intellect is available, it will make the mind available. I don't know how you can say automatically, because intellect always is an effort. So it may not be automatic, but yes, it will bring the mind back. But the mind can be fickle, right? But the intellect is bringing it back, bringing it back, bringing it back. Is that okay?
Yeah, so in that sense, the necessity of including both.
Necessity of?
Including both point 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Mind being available and intellect being available. Okay.
Because sometimes even if your intellect is not available, your mind can still be available. Means the mind is on the contact.
Okay. Thank you.
Deepak Sethi?
Yeah, Chanki to this list where we have summarized, I think one major point that we just discussed, which adds to the happiness level for an evolved person, subtler person, is the fact that his contact is proper. And therefore his hit rate of success is is better. So that's something which has not been specifically mentioned. So I was just trying.
Why not?
Wait. It kind of
point.
No, it says he does not get carried away with desires. Yeah.
Read further,
But
read further, read
Sorry?
further, read further.
He doesn't suffer the ill effects. I'm talking about a slightly different point. I'm saying if my mind is pure as a evolved person, if my intellect is available, then any worldly object or anything, any goal that I take, I have a higher rate of success because my contact is better, which means whatever I'm striving for
That's what
will.
it says.
No, it says that having got it, there are no ill effects.
No,
And it
his
talks.
contact, he does not get carried away with his desires. That is, his contact is regulated.
No, I'm talking about his acquisition being higher because his contact is better. He is approaching the problem at hand with a superior intellect and with a pure mind. Therefore, the chances that he will meet the objective that he has set out is going to be higher, which is different from the intellect being available to regulate it and not getting carried away and not getting the ill effects. So I'm saying I see these as independent points, though it is the same intellect which is going to be causing it.
Yeah, but here we are just talking about why the point here is, why is the contact going to become a happier thing for him? Why is he enjoying more? We are not talking here about the acquisition of the object.
Yeah.
We have over here, if you remember the flow of thought, it is, we said, to the extent you don't have desire, you don't have agitation, you'll be happy. Then we went to gross and subtle. Then we are trying to establish how gross pleasures will give you greater joy. But nowhere are we talking about how will you acquire either the gross or the subtle pleasure.
Yeah, in that sense, you're right. But if you look at the sentence which leads us to this summary, I'm just kind of being a little bit nitpicking. It says, thus an evolved person enjoys greater happiness. So I would then say that a person enjoys greater happiness because A, his success rate is higher in the world because of his better contact. And then everything else flows, that having got it, these are the qualities which allows him to enjoy more and to retain it, etc.
Yeah, what you're saying is correct. No debate on that. But doesn't fit in the flow of. We are not
No,
talking about.
I thought it fitted in because you started by saying that an evolved person enjoys greater happiness, which means acquiring and having a higher hit rate is also a part of greater happiness because you have less unsatisfied desires, because whatever you're desiring, you're getting more of them. And then you end up using all these points which actually sustain that happiness because of the person being at a higher level. Anyway, like I said, that this was just kind of being a little bit, just to get that
No,
context.
there's no debate on your point. Your point is correct. It's just that we are not discussing here the acquisition of the object. That is not there within the scope of the discussion.
Yeah, okay.
We are only talking about when the object is there, you're there, now what happens?
Yeah, fair enough. I was looking at being happier includes the acquisition of the object also, but that's okay.
Yeah, and you can say that, but
And and just the other point was that Joyce's point saying that there is a problem in being happy because you could get stuck there and you may lose the plot because of the verse that we talked about. That's an independent point. It doesn't come here, but it's a very relevant point that while you're deriving all your happiness, these are the things to be guarding against, just to complete the narrative.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank
you're
you.
correct. But what you're saying is all right. But when you're in every point, you can't put every point. So so the book has to follow kind of flow of thought, or a chapter has to follow. So therefore, we can't go into these.
No, I'm not saying it should have been put. I'm just reminding ourselves that let's not forget the plot, that there are these downsides of being successful in this case, meaning, joy being your bondage.
Yes, good.
Yeah.
Yes, Deepraj?
So the last one regarding the loss tolerance, why is the developed person not as dependent on the subtle object as a less developed will be on a gross object?
He will be equally dependent. He's less dependent on things generally. He will be dependent upon the object of his desire like everybody else. Okay, now suppose I'm a very gross person and I have 200 things which I need to keep me happy. Okay, because of the nature of this world and because of my own selfishness, I probably have, out of my 200 things that I want to be happy, I have 50, let us say, for argument's sake. So I have my level of agitation. On the other hand, there's you. You're a very subtle person. You have got 5 things you require to keep you happy. Of your 5 things, getting 4 is not such a big deal. If you had 4, you're able to take it. I don't know. I think we covered that, right? That if you have more or less everything, you take the rest in your stride. But when lots of it is denied to you, it's just like adding more and more and more. So his loss tolerance is less because he's generally okay. How many things are you going to take from him that will make so much difference? So there's a greater loss tolerance, there's a greater maturity in the person only.
Thank you.
Would it also mean that the strength of the desire is also not that strong, so that he can take it in his stride?
Not necessarily, because subtler desires will be stronger desires. No? Subtler desires don't weaken desires. In fact, imagine the strongest desire that a human being has. Not that we have it, but is capable of having is which one?
For the self.
Mumuksha. So imagine what is the strength of that desire when we have it.
Okay, thank you.
Did somebody else raise their hand? Chanchal, had you raised your hand?
Yes, ma'am. So what I feel, I don't know how to place question, but what happens in cricket? Uh, in starting, you want to become captain, and then you enjoy captaincy and everything. And after a period of time, what happens? You want to go back to play as a batsman only. You want to enjoy your batting, your basic skills, and you get pleasure from that one only. You get settled. You don't want to become a captain, remain captain, or something like that. But in the same thing happens in corporate also. Is what happens? You initially you take so much responsibility. You feel like no, I am the leader. This that, and the more you go upward, and you feel like the pleasure comes from something else, not from that those things which give you pleasure in starting of the career. So, is it right, ma'am? Means what you are telling?
I'm not very sure, Chanchal, because it's also possible. What happens in life is that most of us keep rising in life because we become good at what we do. So if you're a very good salesperson, then they'll make you the head of a group of salespeople. Then you become regional head. They keep raising you. And what happens in some cases is that everybody reaches their levels of inefficiency. So, a salesman may not be a good leader of salesmen, or a good leader of salesman may not be a good regional head of sales, or a good regional head of sales may not be a good marketing head. So, it's Peter's principle. I don't know if you're familiar with Peter's principle. You will keep on getting promotions until you reach your level of inefficiency. And when a person reaches that level of inefficiency, that means now they are not efficient at their job, then they will stop getting any further promotion. So, under that condition, also, what you're saying will become true. So, it's not necessary that it's only out of this. I'm just giving you an alternate possibility here. So, therefore, it's not possible to say based on the data that you have given whether that's true or not. Becoming simple in life is like, when I tell you that, I don't know, if your boss tells you, for instance, that, oh, Chanchal, you've done this very well. And your only reaction is, thank you very much. And then you get on with your life and you've forgotten what he said and it's over. That's simple. Complicated is, your boss tells you, Chanchal, you did this very well. And you said, oh, now why is he saying this today? What does he want to do? Or, look at me, I am so smart. Even my boss says I'm so good. So much unnecessary stuff is going on. So when you become simple, like someone gives you a compliment, thank you. Someone says something, points out an error, say, okay, you may be right. And examine whether that person is right. It's a very simple thing to do. In Vedanta, it's called being objective. Very simple. And therefore, there's no mental agitation at all. So therefore, he's a calm person. So simplicity is really just an attitude we have where we don't unnecessarily bring in complications in life. Someone says, you did this good, thank you. You did it bad, oh, I'll try to do better next time. And get on with it.
Got it, ma'am. Thank you.
Deepak Sethi?
Yeah. Janki ji, just a quick question on the strength of desire. The strength of the desire. Would it be true to say that the strength of the desire is independent of whether it is lower or higher, gross or subtle? You can have it either which way. It's an independent phenomenon because that's what is coming through in this discussion.
Yes, it's an independent phenomenon. It's an independent phenomenon. It could be weak or high. But if you come, yes, correct. So I can have a desire for mumukshvatva, which is weak or high, right? Or I can have a desire for money, which is weak and high. So they're independent. However, when I have only the desire for mumukshvatva, that means all my other desires, all my entire mental energy is now this one thing.
By definition, it has to be very high. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, come Mahesh. We seem to forget that all of us need to constantly grow to higher dimensions. Wherever we are, that is the lower for us. Please remember this. Wherever we are, we already discussed this in great detail, so I won't go through it again. But wherever we are, this is the lower for us. The higher is the part we have to struggle with. Only you know whether you're struggling or not. And what are you struggling with? Are you struggling with how do I make more money? How do I get more credit? What are you struggling with? Or are you struggling with how can I be more service oriented? How can I be a greater daksha? Daksha is a quality of a bhakta. How can I be better at what I do? How can I think of better ways of doing things? How can I be of more service? How do I keep better emotions in my heart? Constantly you're trying to upgrade that. So that struggle has to be there. And your struggle you know is working. You know how you will know that your struggle is working? It's a very simple yardstick. You know, how do you know whether you're struggling properly? The way you know this is, today I think wrong what I did not consider wrong yesterday. I consider something wrong today that I did not consider wrong yesterday. Yesterday, when I shouted at you, I felt bad, I shouted at you. Today, I didn't shout at you. But I feel bad that there was a trace of anger in my mind. Yesterday, I wasn't feeling bad that there was a trace of anger in my mind. There was not a trace, there was a lot of anger. That's why I shouted. So when I'm able to see today something is wrong, which I did not see yesterday as wrong, I know that my struggle is in the right direction. It means I'm growing, my vision is opening. I'm beginning to see things that I had not seen before. If you can look back on something you did and say, oh, that was a wrong thing I did. And you think that today, but you didn't think it yesterday. That means the struggle is going in the right direction. If today your concept of virtue and values is exactly the same as it was yesterday, then probably no growth has taken place. So what we need to do is whatever according to us is our virtue, is our value, whatever it according to us it is. We keep doing it. What happens is you start seeing more in that arena. And when you start seeing more, it's a simple thing, like when you start writing and you finish writing, then you say, oh, I've written very well. But as you get better and better, as you keep practicing and more, you begin to see, oh, this is not as good. So if you can't see your yesterday's good actions as bad today, then probably growth is not taking place. So each one of us, wherever we are, have to struggle to improve that. Yes, Gunjan?
Prompting, should the struggle end somewhere?
Yes, it ends finally at self-realization. Don't worry, it's not a bottomless pit. At self-realization, it ends. Then you have now got full knowledge and full bliss. So you have achieved what you came here to.
But Janki ji, that if you feel today that what I did yesterday was not right, can it be due to your confusion and lack of clarity also?
Yeah, that's always possible. But then confusion and lack of clarity is not a clear understanding that you were wrong. That will be like, oh, was I wrong? I don't know whether I was wrong, but I was right because of this.
Okay.
All these other things is going on, but very clearly you feel, I could have done, I shouldn't have done that, or I shouldn't have said that, or shouldn't have thought that. When you grow, there's a clarity that comes to you. You may not even word it, but in your heart, you know you're not going to repeat this.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so that's it for today. Hari Om.
Hariom Janki ji.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Janki ji.
Thank you, Janki ji. Hari Om.
Thank you, Janki ji.